Hi, this is Dr. T from Human Tuna Clinic. I am a health and wellness coach. Today I wanted to kind of discuss or share this interesting information I found on NIH, National Institute of Health. It's an article done online. This particular article is written by Dr. Marilyn Schultz. So Dr. Marilyn Schultz has done many works in the realm of consciousness and spirituality, and as it relates to health and wellness, actually published over 200 articles as well. So on this particular article, it is kind of compiling the different studies that have been done, some of the different studies that have been done, and kind of sharing the impact it has on health and wellness. On this particular article, the author speaks about how we are at a phase of, human evolution or time where we're kind of bringing the two worlds, if you will, of one that is intuitively known by indigenous, the mysticism of spirituality and spiritual practice, whether it be meditation, prayers, or whatever formality that you use to practice these beliefs that are speaking of greater power, and this more logical kind of way of approaching things and logical mind or persona, which we kind of, I guess, could define it as scientific approach to finding information and application of it. So the author is very excited after doing all of these researches and kind of coming into the synthesis. This is a time that we can compile those things to create a new, application of this spirituality in regards to medicine and health and overall well-being. There are a couple of articles that were featured on this article that are, evidence to demonstrate the impact of spirituality in health and well-being. One of which is wound healing. That there were a group of highly spiritual believers that their prayers or whatever practices they do, even from afar, in focusing on this specific individual, can impact the actual wound healing. And this study also noted that there was significant positive outcome due to this application. And then the second one that's also interesting was the love study, which was about people who have cancer and their partners. Whereas the partners feeling kind of helpless typically because, so overwhelming and don't know what to do. In this study, the partners were kind of guided or encouraged to kind of have a positive, intentional thoughts toward the individual who's dealing with cancer. And in this case also, it was noted to have a positive, implication and overall outcome. And there are many other studies that they kind of discuss in this particular topic. Not only this article, but there are many others in the literature world that shows there is a direct link, not just, initially there are some studies that indicated people who actually practice, on a regular basis, religious practice or beliefs have a positive outcome in health due to the community they create and the support they have during this phase. But again, as shown in some of these studies, even people who are completely removed from them, just by way of sending positive energy, prayers, or whatever the belief system that is from way afar, they were able to impact the health and well-being of others. So some institutions like UCLA Medical Center are encouraging physicians to incorporate their spiritual history as part of the overall, engagement with the patient. And Dr. Harold G. Coyne at Duke University actually recommends that physicians ask every patient if they consider themselves spiritual or religious. And so according to him, doctors should encourage prayer and religion practices if that is a source of comfort for them. Goes further, says religion has power to heal, and we have an obligation to value the power of aligning medicine with that. So it is interesting and wonderful time for this kind of marriage of, quote unquote, Western or scientific or world with the mysticism and indigenous way of thinking, and coming out with this way of empowerment of whether it be those who are the family member of someone who's going through illness, or those individuals who also are going through something, to kind of apply the practice of spirituality to assist in their healing. So just as we discussed in the last video in regards to spirituality, please do kind of pause and reflect and see what type of spiritual beliefs you may have, or have been exposed to and want to reevaluate, and kind of come to a more refined state where you're actually incorporating not only sometimes, but on a daily basis, because as you see, it has implication in your overall health and well-being, but even goes further. Perhaps you can also impact others by your intuitive and intentional positive spiritual practices toward healing or betterment of others, to really impact the overall human experience, and more specifically health and wellness. So with that said, thank you so much for following me up to this point. If you have any specific aha moments, or you find it interesting, or you want to share other studies or even something you witnessed that really impacted the healing process for somebody, please do put it in the comment section. Do subscribe so we can continue this dialogue and share it with many others, as well as do like this if you do like it. Put that little thumbs up so that we can continue and be encouraged to come up with these contents and share with you, as well as do hit that bell sign so you'll know the next video. On that note, thank you so much for choosing Human Tune-Up Clinic as your source of inspiration or education or information